Today, we're diving into a huge question. What makes TSMC just unstoppable? We're going to break down what we're calling its engine of precision. And trust me, it's a system unlike anything else out there.
All right, let's just jump right in with a thought experiment. If you had to build an industrial process that was perfect, what would that even look like? It's a wild idea, right? But it's actually the best way to start understanding the company that really is quietly running our entire digital lives, TSMC.
You see, when you really dig into TSMC, you quickly figure out that its dominance isn't just about having the most money or the fanciest technology. I mean, sure, that stuff matters, but those are the results, not the root cause. The real secret sauce is this invisible operating philosophy, this deep-seated way of doing things that makes their success something you can count on, over and over again.
And look, we're not going to bore you with another breakdown of management discipline or corporate governance. That's been done to death. We're going deeper. We're trying to find the hidden scaffolding, the stuff that makes their success systemic, like it's baked into their DNA, and not just a case of being in the right place at the right time.
I mean, you've got massive players like Intel, Samsung, and even the new Japanese company Rapidus, all throwing everything they have at trying to close the gap. But what they're all starting to realize is that you can't just copy TSMC's tech. You'd have to copy their entire philosophy, and, well, that's a whole different ballgame.
All right, so let's get into it. We'll start with the most obvious advantage, the one you can see from a mile away. It's absolutely mind-boggling scale.
Seriously, the numbers here are just insane. We're talking $30 to $40 billion a year. That's their typical capital spending. That's more than the entire economy of some countries, and they're spending it every single year to build what's next. For any competitor, that's the first brick wall they hit, and it's a big one.
So you might be asking, how on earth can they spend that much, that consistently? It's not just about having cash. It's what we're calling a self-reinforcing cycle of confidence. It all starts when huge customers, think Apple, commit to buying chips years before they're even made. That takes a ton of risk off the table for TSMC, so they can build big, which scares off rivals. And because they always deliver, they earn even more trust, which, you guessed it, leads to more huge long-term commitments. It's this incredible flywheel that just keeps spinning faster and faster.
And this is where you see the huge difference in strategy. Most of their rivals, like Intel or Samsung, they build sequentially. They finish one huge factory, then start the next. But TSMC, they build in parallel. It's like an assembly line for factories. They're buying land for one fab, pouring concrete for another, and installing tools in a third, all at the same time. The result is this constant compounding growth that nobody else can keep up with.
Okay, so that's scale, but now let's get to the second advantage. This one is a little less obvious, but you could argue it's even more powerful. We're calling it the engine of trust, and it's all about one key idea: neutrality.
I mean, how radical can it be? Don't compete with your customers. It sounds like business 101. But in the cutthroat world of chip design, that simple idea has become TSMC's single greatest weapon. So why is that?
Well, it comes down to this. TSMC is what's known as a pure-play foundry. That's a fancy way of saying they only manufacture chips for other companies. They make chips for Apple, for AMD, for NVIDIA, for pretty much everyone, but they don't design or sell a single chip under their own brand. This is everything. It means they have absolutely no reason to peek at, let alone steal, the top-secret designs their customers give them.
And that is the fundamental problem for their competition. Think about it. Intel makes its own chips that compete directly with AMD and NVIDIA. So if you're AMD, are you really going to give your most valuable secrets to your biggest rival? Same with Samsung. They're a massive company that competes with their own customers in phones, TVs, you name it. So even if their manufacturing was on par, there's this structural mistrust just baked into the relationship.
And this neutrality kicks off another one of those powerful feedback loops, what you could call a trust loop. Because every single major player trusts TSMC, TSMC gets this incredible bird's eye view of the entire industry. They see what works, what doesn't, across all kinds of designs. They learn from everyone. This makes their own process better and better, which, surprise, surprise, makes even more people want to work with them. It's a flywheel powered by trust.
Okay, so we've got scale and we've got trust. Now let's peel back another layer of this onion. And this one might be the hardest one of all for anyone else to copy. We're talking about the raw speed that comes from TSMC's unique location and culture.
And really, this isn't just about one company anymore. It's about an entire island.
I mean, how did Taiwan, a place smaller than a lot of US states, turn itself into this perfectly synchronized machine that powers the whole world's tech?
The key is this idea of a silicon metropolis. The entire supply chain, I'm talking software companies, chemical suppliers, packaging plants, everything. It's all clustered together, just a few hours drive apart. An engineer can solve a problem, grab a wafer, and literally drive it to the next partner in the same afternoon. That kind of closeness shrinks feedback loops from weeks into mere hours. The whole island feels like it's on one mission, in one time zone, moving at a speed that's just impossible to match anywhere else.
And underneath all of that is this absolutely incredible work ethic. I mean, there's this story, and whether it's 100% true or not, it captures the spirit perfectly. The story goes that after an earthquake, you'd get traffic jams in the middle of the night caused by engineers all rushing back to the factories to check on them. That's not just a job. That's a deep sense of ownership, a national mission, and that dedication is the fuel for the whole system's speed.
And this really gets to the heart of it. This is the advantage you just can't buy. You can build a factory in Arizona or Germany. You can spend billions of dollars. You can buy the fanciest machines from ASML. But you can't import a culture. You just can't replicate decades of this shared, relentless focus that's been hammered into the DNA of an entire industry, all on one island.
So that's the trifecta right there. Those are the first three foundational advantages of TSMC. You've got the engine of scale running on confidence, the engine of trust built on being a neutral partner, and the engine of speed, powered by an entire ecosystem that acts like a single organism.
But here's the thing, those are just the gears you can see on the surface. The machine goes way deeper. So what are the other hidden mechanisms that make this whole thing so impossible to copy? Well, that's what we're going to dive into in the next part. We'll see you then.